Good evening, everybody. Today is Thursday, 3rd of February, 8 p.m. I'm here with tip number 5 on financial mindset. As you know, I'm doing the series called Attracting Abundance Always, and I'm giving a tip on a weekly basis so that you are able to use these tips that I'm giving you for a better financial future and also to get law of attraction and hope on how to work for you. Yeah. So today is tip number 5, and today is a very interesting tip because it says, do not resent wealth, and I think it's a very interesting tip because a lot of people say, oh, Mr. Kati, I don't resent wealth, I'm the type of person, or in fact, we say only think about 99% of the people in the world, they want a big car, they want a big house, and, they want to be rich and wealthy and all. So when I say tip number 5 is do not resent wealth, a lot of people would not agree with me and say, "Oh, what? No, no, I don't resent. I actually love wealth." Well, this is where the thing is. A lot of people say they love wealth, but they actually do something which is called resenting wealthy people, people with big car, big house, and whatever not, and that actually creates their own poverty, their own financial problem, which you don't realize. Like I said, it's just a tip, and I think I will just share with you. I just want to share with you this interesting story. When I was studying in the university, my friends, just to give you an example, when I was studying in the university, my friends used to ask me and say, Mr. Kati, or not that time, I was just friends, right? Kati, what car would you drive? I say, I will drive a Mercedes Benz. One day, for sure, I'll drive a Mercedes Benz. I told my friends who study accounting with me, I said, for sure, one day I'll have a Mercedes Benz. I love Mercedes Benz, right? And then people ask me, where would you live? I say, oh, I will have a very big house, bungalow house with swimming pool, that kind of thing. Then, of course, I graduated. I started working in Bank Nagara, and I was an auditor. And and many years later, my accounting friends and all, we met together. And when we met together, we had this thing about what all we talked about in the university and all. And one guy remembered what I said, about Mercedes Benz and bungalow house. So, real idiot lah. Anyway, he remembered, and then he asked me. He said, "So, Kati, now that you're working by Nagara, now what car do you drive?" And I said, and I know exactly why he asked this question, because I used to brag about driving a BMW, sorry, Mercedes Benz. So when he said, "What car do you drive?" Nowadays, Kati, blah. And I said, "Hey, listen, actually, why we need a car is to go from point A to point B. And, all cars got four tires and one spare tire, just like a Mercedes Benz and, BMW. And also, it really doesn't matter what car you drive, like. And I was driving at that point in time a Proton Vita, or I can't remember, Satria, or whatever. And I was actually telling him that, obviously, a Proton Vita, I think I was telling him, I said, you know, um, I mean, that's all I could afford at that time anyway. So I, of course, had a Proton Vita. But then when he asked me like that, and then I had excuses, like why, it's no need to, why I didn't have a Mercedes Benz. So I said, oh, it is only a car that will take you from point A to point B. Do you know now how expensive it is to service a Mercedes Benz? Do you know now if somebody scratched the car, one scratch, how much it's going to cost you? Do you know every time you send for service, how much it's going to cost you? So I was giving a lot of excuses why I didn't have the Mercedes Benz, instead of being able to just accept the fact is I can't afford it, but one day I still want to have a Mercedes Benz. Now that is something every one of you must note, because the moment when you don't have something and you resent it and you don't like it and you're unhappy about it, but when you give your excuses, then I realized many years ago that then you will never be able to buy a Mercedes Benz, because your mindset has already been programmed that Mercedes is not good, or BMW is not good, or the luxury car is not good. So similarly to the house. So my friend, the same guy lah, asked me, he said, Mr. Kati, so where do you, Mr. Kati, Kati, where do you live? Last time you said you want to have a bungalow house and a swimming pool and how? I say, hey, do you know or not? If you have a bungalow house, the thieves can come in 4 different directions. So better to have a terrace house, and put a dog in front, to put a dog at the back, so nobody can enter the house, you see. So see the excuses, And then he asked me, he said, what about your swimming pool? I said, hey, I got 2 young children. What if they fall into the swimming pool? So therefore, I decided I should just live in terrace house. Actually, the reason is I couldn't afford it. Then, of course, subsequently I had a bungalow house. Subsequently, I drove a Mercedes many years later, yeah. But this is a point in time when I left university and I was working in Bank Nagara, I see. So one of the things I learned from that particular whole incident, and it's actually spoken in a book by T. Half Acre. It's called the Millionaire Mindset. It says the Millionaire Mindset. And one of the things he says is, do not resent, do not resent wealth. Okay, because the moment you start talking bad about having a Mercedes Benz or BMW, like it's very expensive, road tax is very high, and you scratch your work. When you have the money also, you won't be able to buy one. Why? Because your mindset has already been programmed negative. I think if many of you follow my law of attraction program, I will always tell you that when you drink coffee, many people say when you drink coffee you cannot sleep. Actually, coffee doesn't do anything to your sleep. The reason why if you drink coffee you cannot sleep is because you already programmed yourself that if I drink coffee, I sleep. Sometimes people say, I don't know why I get angry very fast. This is a programming, because when you keep saying it, something happen, you'll get angry very fast because you keep saying that. Everything in life is about programming. So if you program yourself as Mercedes is not good because it's very expensive servicing, or even a bungalow, like bungalow house, not even that. I used to say things like, oh, bungalow house, how expensive it is. You need to have so many maids. How expensive or not. You need to pay electricity. How expensive or not. So what actually happens is that we tend to say things which are negative with regards to the wealth because we can't have it and we don't have it and we don't know how to justify it, so we say negative things. Which is the reason why when you're driving in a car now, when you're driving in a car, and suddenly we see somebody driving past in a very big, expensive car. Many of you, not all, some of you might even have this thought, yalla, I'm sure he take bribe. No wonder he got a nice, expensive car. Yalla, I don't know what he did in order to get that kind of car. I'm sure he's not doing anything. I'm sure he's doing something illegal. So you tend to say things because you can't afford the car. You know, better not have a BMW lah, because a lot of people nowadays they steal BMW. Proton, old one, nobody steal. So these are the things that you say, and that actually portrays that you resent wealth, you resent wealthy people, you resent richness, and when you resent it, what automatically happens is your antenna, your aerial for wealth that becomes less. Your aerial for wealth will reduce, and therefore, when money won't come to you, wealth won't come to you because you can't because you already said what Mercedes is not good, BMW is not good because it's expensive. Or you pass by a big bungalow house and you say, "Ayo, who will stay in such a big house?" I tell you, how long it will take to sweep and mop. Now if you have maids, how expensive it is. Electricity bill is so high. Or thieves can come in any direction. In fact, thieves always target bungalow houses. Therefore, I think I just have a small house, fine lah. See, these things, when you say, you are resenting rich people, you are resenting expensive cars, you are resenting expensive houses, and all this. When you say things, it automatically creates a resentment, and it programs your mind, and your mind decides not to attract wealth. Why? Because you already talk about so many negative things about wealth, and so your mindset will be you automatically shut down your reception already. So even if God has decided to give you money, the universe has decided to give you wealth, it will restrict it because you are the type of person who's been portraying to everybody, I don't need this, it's too expensive, I don't need this, not shouldn't do it, and therefore your richness won't come. Now I'm not asking you to now like start admiring, and because that's not what I'm saying. Is very simple. If you see a big bungalow house, you look at a bungalow and say, wow, such a nice house. You know what? One day I'll live in a house. Say, be able to look at it positively that one day you like to live in a house like that. Because you can afford it, right? You can afford the electricity, you can afford the maids, you can have someone to clean up your swimming pool, you can afford that. So you say, one day I'll be in that house. I look so good in the house. I like that luxury. I've got a big house with swimming pool. It's so hot I can have a swim in the pool, rather than I don't want to have the house because it's da 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 da. Or a car. If you see a BMW passing by, or a very expensive car passing by, a Bugatti, or you look at it and say, you know what? I will really look good in that car, and I can drive very fast. I will enjoy. You know what? One day I'll have a car like that, and I wear with my sunglasses and I drive the car. I think people are going to look at me and say, wow. Yeah. So what you're doing now is you're looking at the car and looking at how life will be good for you, how happy you're going to be with that car. I will live in a house and how happy I'm going to be with the house. Or even if you see somebody with jewelry, jewelry, and all, you say, yeah, la, purposely want to show off their jewelry, la, like walking goldsmith. Sometimes we look at people who've got all kind of gold on. Oh yeah, look at the goldsmith walking. I tell you, a very easy target for people to know. Again, you'll find very difficult to buy gold already. Why? Because you already negated it. So the universe will ensure that you don't get, because We are connected to our soul. Our soul is listening to everything we say. Our soul is connected to the universe and God. So if you keep saying negative things, if you keep saying things like, oh, where goldsmith, walking goldsmith, you are target for, people to, rob you, or car means it's very expensive, and so on and so forth, automatically your soul will get the message and take it up to God and say, no, 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 this person doesn't know all this, don't give all this. And that's why a lot of poor people remain poor. A lot of poor people remain poor is not because they don't have luck. Okay, it's not that they don't have luck. Okay, the reason why they do that is because they create the kind of vibrations, we call it. I don't know whether you understand that word vibration means the energy, and when you create negative energy, you will find that a lot of good things never come to you. Okay, so my message for you today, my tip for you today is that starting from today, if you see rich people, or you see an expensive car, an expensive house, you see people doing something you like, you see someone carrying an expensive phone, iPhone, whatever phone, you just look at it and say, you know what, I will be good with that phone. That phone is good for me. Oh wow, look at that shirt with the name. Wow, I will look good with that. Admire and respect and admire the thing they have, so that how they earned it is another story. That's different. You don't have to judge that. That is their problem, their karma, let it go. What you want to do is that you will get it when the time comes for you, but you won't get it if you might be angry with certain people because they have become rich, either shortcut or they have cables or whatever. Not maybe you don't do all that, doesn't matter. But when you are admiring, so what happened was, I was working in Bayanagara, I love Bayanagara, and then I started to understand this principle, and I started to really put a big house in my vision board, put car in my vision, and I have a Mercedes, I had a Murano, 4-wheel drive. I lived in a bungalow house in country house. All this happened because then I started to look at things and say, you know what, I will enjoy having this, and then everything started to fall in place. So I really need you to understand, my friends, that one of the tips that I can share with you today, which is so important to you, is do not resent wealth. Embrace it, feel good about it, and then wealth will come looking for you. Is that clear? So thank you very much for listening to me. I hope that tip helped you. Take care, be safe, and I'll see you next week, Tuesday and Thursday, for tip number 6. Bye bye.